Hey guys, Austin Hilton here with another video on one of my favorite companies, Palantir. This seems to be the company that you guys want to continue to see me make videos on. Every video I do just crushes it, so I'll continue to make these videos as long as you want me to keep bringing them to you. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you and showing you a real piece of interesting information about this company that really, and I know a lot about Palantir, but this piece of information really helped kind of clarify for me some looking at the overall business and gave me some interesting ideas and thoughts and kind of input related to the opportunities that Palantir has looking forward, how they work when they get into a new client. There's a lot of interesting ideas. So if that's intriguing to you and you're interested in Palantir and you want to learn more about why this is a great company for the long-term investment, and why I think that this company is a $40 to $50+ stock priced company within 12 months, $100 or more 2 years out. That's what this video is about. So that's, again, you guys know I'm very bullish on this company. I own this company stock. I'm buying more at this level. I am a huge fan. If you're looking for a video that has a deep technical fundamental analysis deep dive, this is not that video. Don't want to waste your time. But if you're wanting to know and always be kept up to date about Palantir and other top companies out there, that's what I'm here for you. I'm here bringing you these videos to help you understand what's going on with your favorite stocks and just information around them so that you're kept updated so that you can use that info to make more money in the stock market, because that's my goal, is to help you make more cash. Lastly, if you would, consider subscribing to the channel and hit that like button if you would. I would greatly appreciate it. If you hit the like button, it helps the video out, helps me out. If you're getting value from this video, please drop a like. I would greatly appreciate it. And finally, this video is for entertainment purposes only. All right, let's do it. Let's go look at what I got for you today related to Palantir. Favorite company. Okay, so you guys know, again, you know that I'm a huge fan of this company. I am extremely bullish on this. And this article actually re-solidified, or even more solidified, however you want to look at that, my goals around Palantir, my views around Palantir, and how I see the long-term prospects of this company. So I thought that this was an extremely great piece of information to bring you, to show you, so that you can understand some of and pick up some things that you didn't know about this company. So here we go. So Palantir Tech, understanding its immense potential. And this right here is the big part of what this article is about. As the world becomes increasingly digital and connected, we generate increasingly more amounts of data. I know what Palantir does, but what I hadn't really put the two pieces together, or the multiple pieces, was at the end of the day, culturally, what's going on with our world is that every day we are generating increasingly more amounts of data. And that data is beneficial to governments and to companies so that they can help, companies can help understand their clients better, understand their data, understand, everything around that, how governments like the UK, how they can, the health organizations can use it to do COVID-19 responses, etc. I mean, there's just so many immense different things around the sheer amount of big amounts of data that we generate. And that's what effectively Palantir does, is they help to manage that data and bring that data into one cohesive kind of analytic platform layer so that you can make decisions based off of that data. Okay. All right. I just said this. Palantir gives organizations the tools to integrate and analyze vast scopes of data. I don't even know that's what that says, but look at me. I recapped that and didn't even know that was the second point. There you go. Okay, so again, the company's unique business makes it potentially a lucrative long-term opportunity for patient investors. Okay, so here we go. This is you should find this interesting if you really care about Palantir and you really want to know more about what that is that they kind of do. And this really connects some different dots that maybe you hadn't thought of. Okay, so the world is rapidly changing. We know this, right? And as connectivity increases, we produce exponentially larger amounts of data. That is true. As our world continues to become even more and more connected and, more online and all the things. Think about your house becoming connected, your house becoming smart, right? With smart devices like, washers and dryers and your refrigerator and all that produces a significant amount of big amounts of data. And the companies that manufacture those products want that data so they can sell us more and make more money and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So the ability to give organizations the ability to integrate with and analyze and learn from the data is really what it comes down to. And that's really what Palantir does, right? They give the organization's ability to integrate it. That's huge. The integration alone is massive. Think about all those different points of data, email, social media, and all those different points of data. They can bring all that data in so that that company or that organization can make better decisions. Okay, so again, I'm assuming you know this. If you don't, I'm real quickly. They started in 2003. They really got their start in the government sector, predominantly with the clandestine operation side of it, and helping the government. Again, with like Osama bin Laden, all that kind of stuff. That's really kind of where they got their start. Okay, but they have expanded their business to beyond the federal level. They are state and local level now, as well as obviously the private sector. So they're kind of in multiple levels of government: federal, state, local, as well as, again, private sector, which we're going to dive down into that here just in a minute. The company has annual revenues around $1 billion. I thought this one sentence right here was really the reason for the video. Was really actually this one sentence is what got my attention. I'm like, I got to make a video on this. Because I hadn't thought of it this way. That's really what I'm coming down to. And I think it's going to maybe change the way you think about Palantir as well. Data is the oil of the 21st century. And I hadn't really thought about that, but it truly fundamentally is. And i.e. the oil, it is the next big wave of money. Okay. And so that's really, again, very, very important to think about data, collection, integration, manage, execution, all around data, right? But look at this. I thought this was a great corollary. In the 1850s, when the discovery of crude oil set off a chain reaction of innovation that powered the development of the modern economy throughout the 1900s, 1940s, similarly, an important discovery was made with the electric computer. You see the corollaries here. We first had oil, which changed our world. And then 40s, we had computers, which changed our world. In 1990, the internet was developed, which changed our world. It became the catalyst for the digital age. They're drawing the corollary that now in 2021 and beyond, it is data. It is the next big evolutionary step. Okay, so the explosion of connectivity over the past or so decade has so rapidly expanded the depth and rate at which data is created, just the amount of data that's being created, and grappling with that data from a governmental and or business standpoint is a truly gargantuan, monumental, huge, mountain, right? I mean, it's the biggest peak there is, just physically dealing with that data, okay? So the iPhone was launched right around the same time that social media started taking off and cloud surfaces were becoming a thing. That all propelled and brought in the connectivity that we all live with in this day and age, okay? So it kicked off the emergence of what we see. Individuals are constantly connected every single day, and mobile, again, if you peel away that onion and you go, yeah, I get it, Austin, I have a phone and I'm connected mobile, the sheer amount of data coming off of that connectivity across billions of people is the opportunity that we're talking about, okay? That's really what we're talking about. Not to mention everything we do on the internet, we do at our like I'm on my desktop, we do on our phone, all that kind of stuff. It's just all there, right? So again, we create a ton of data. Think about this. Everything from text messages, email, social media posts, all that data comes in many form factors and is constantly expanding because it's created over time, right? As time passes, we simply create more. The data grows exponentially. Are you starting to see my point here? And I hope I'm not boring you, but what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to create the scenario where you understand that dealing with that data is really fundamentally what Palantir and their technology does. And that's why it's the next big wave. Just like, when oil was when oil became the thing in the 1850s and the electronic computer, the PC became the thing in the 1940s. It's the next big thing. That's why I had to do this video for you. Okay. So when Palantir was founded in the 2000s, the company was a bit ahead of its time, which is probably, again, why it got its footing in the government agencies first because they're ahead. They're on the the cutting edge, right? Okay. But now that the private sector's caught up with the idea of big data, which is really what we're talking about and what I've been talking about for the next 5 to 7, 8 minutes, has become mainstream. Companies working in that space are seeing more opportunities and more applications, okay? Again, data is the oil of the 21st century. Think about this. It's interesting. It's not hard to see this happening around us. You have fewer missile attacks and bombings and more cyber attacks between sparring companies. We really don't have as much bombing anymore. Now it's all electronic cyber warfare, right? Social media companies are becoming increasingly scrutinized over the data they collect and the countries they collect it in. All of that comes back to Palantir helping to manage and companies like Palantir, like Snowflake and things like that, to manage that data. As an investor, there's an opportunity for long-term growth in finding the right companies that sit on the front edge of innovation in the data space. Palantir. Okay. Artificial intelligence, edge computing, or data analytics. These are all the main areas. Palantir really fundamentally sits in kind of all of them. Okay. All right. Palantir provides the tools for human-driven analysis of vast amounts of real-world data. That's what we've been talking about. Okay. But here's what they really do. And this, to me, was one of the most succinct definitions of what Palantir does that I've ever seen. And guys, I read a ton on Palantir every day, every week, etc. But this right here, what Palantir does is essentially take all of this data and formats it via its platforms into a single language, quote. Then that data is integrated and managed in a way that users can analyze it with the assistance of machine learning. And I would take one step further and take that information. They can analyze it and then take action upon it. That's the value of what Palantir does. Imagine having every picture, social media, post, text, and email you've ever sent taken and analyzed for patterns and tendencies. This data could probably reveal information about you that never was realized to find out more about you without telling someone directly. All of this based on the data that you create day in and day out. Now, I'm going to tell you here right there, I don't necessarily agree or disagree. My politics are not part of this discussion. In fact, I'm Switzerland as it comes to this. I'm simply laying out the case for what Palantir does. But that paragraph right here, I'm going to tell you this right here, right now. I was in tech in the 90s. And the fact of the matter is, and I have had consulting companies, is that right now the data everything that we do online and everything we're doing is being collected anyway. Every click, every movement, everything you do on Facebook, on TikTok, on Pinterest, on Google, that data is all being collected regardless. Whether or not you like it or don't like it, it is being collected. It is. It's so don't attack me because I said that. I'm just simply I'm telling you that that's the reality, right? If you weren't aware, that is the reality. Companies like Palantir can help the companies that are collecting the data analyze and manage that data. That's what they do. So put aside your personal opinions for a second if you're offended by what I said, and hopefully you're not. But you understand just that I'm just the messenger just delivering the information to you. Is that think of it, put your investor hat on and go, wow, that's a huge amount of opportunity. However you feel about it, is still a huge amount of opportunity. I mean, what the opportunity Palantir and companies like them have in the long run in helping to manage, analyze, and take action on that big data. Okay, so Palantir has two primary platforms, Gotham and Foundry. We already know this. Gotham is their platform for the government. It's 56% of their revenues. Foundry is the platform that they sell to the commercial sector, the businesses. It's what 44%, if I'm doing that right. Yeah, 44% of their revenue. And then they've also got a third product, this product right here, Apollo, which is its third main business product, and it's a standalone continuous delivery platform that manages and deploys Foundry and Gotham across multiple cloud structures. Collectively, these three platforms make up Palantir and what their product does. Okay. Wrapping up with a few final thoughts here. This is what I thought very intriguing, is that Palantir is a very sticky business, i.e. it becomes increasingly difficult to switch once that they've come into your business because their software can be described as what we call mission critical. Their software becomes this analytic and management platform, AI platform layer that becomes mission critical to the government, to the business that is employing and using that, okay? So specifically related to us as investors, Their long-term relationships have various layers and makes it difficult for any existing and future competitors to displace them. Also, long-term contracts, relationship with deep ties, and deep-rooted implementations are tremendous hurdles for challengers. Also, I would add into that is that once they're in a company, they identify and find other opportunities for other revenue streams coming out of that existing government and or private sector business. So they have they start to create more revenue. I saw this in the 90s when I was selling software. It just is how it is. You get in with one project and you ultimately find 4, 5, 6, 7 other 8 projects that you can start to that you get attached to, and you're making even more money from your software consulting, etc. Okay, I thought this was awesome. Why do you think that some small handfuls of companies have been supplying submarine jets and weapon systems to the military? The same companies, right? Think of Palantir as the software version of Lockheed Martin, who Lockheed Martin is one of the single biggest suppliers to the government of planes and missiles and things like that, right? Let's just think of it like that, okay? All right, I think we're getting close to being to gain a sense of how much Palantir has room to grow is that right now they're only in 8 of the Fortune 100 companies. They're only in 12 of the Global 100, and they're only in 24 of the Global 300. They have a tremendous amount of future opportunity in front of them, ton, right? Okay, the top 20 customers contribute to more than 60% of its total sales. I'm okay with that because remember what I just said earlier. They are not going to be displaced from those top 20 customers. In fact, they will continue to make more and more revenue money from those top 20 customers. Oh, by the way, adding in more customers that they are getting into every single day in the government and the federal, local, state government, as well as private sector businesses as well. Okay. I think that I really want to end on that note and give you a few final thoughts now. Yeah, I don't want this video to be too long, and this is a pretty long article. So guys, again, I'm bullish on this stock, $40 to $50+ in the next year, $100 in 2 years from now. I own this stock. I'm going to continue to add to it. I consider this article what this article really brought home to me was that I hadn't really thought of the data that we as a society and the billions of people that we're creating every day, and grappling with that sheer data is a huge leap it's a huge not leap it's a huge monumental problem. And that's what Palantir does, is they help companies and governments and health organizations and things like that manage that data so that they can do what it is they do, right? And I think that that's why Palantir's opportunity, if you understand that part of it and you understand that it's all this big data and that's what they do, and that how we as society are creating all this, you should be able to take a step back and go, wow, how much opportunity this company has in the long term is immense. It is immense. And in a previous video, I talked about how Palantir's forecasted that I think this is a $319 billion market, the overall kind of AI analytic platform market, and they've done $1 billion of it. No, $119 billion, because they've only penetrated 1%. That's what the number was. It was $119 billion because they've only penetrated less than 1% of the overall market. So I think that this is a massive opportunity, long-term investment, buy on the dips, hold, and it's a long-term investment. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I enjoyed making it for you. And consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. I'm here for you every day. I want to help you make more money in the stock market. That's my goal. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.